As we've been reporting this morning, bad news for actress Sandra Bullock. There are reports that she and her husband, Jesse James, have split. This after tattoo model Michelle McGee says that she had an
She married a man who built motorcycles for a living and called herself the happiest she'd ever been. 5 years later, that marriage ended in 24 hours flat. What actually happened in between and why she now says it had to happen is rarely told in full asterisk. This is the story. CelebScope put together from Sandra Bullock's own words. Across a decade of interviews, the wedding, Sandra Bullock married Jesse James in 2005. He was a motorcycle builder and TV personality, known for Monster Garage and West Coast Choppers. She was already one of Hollywood's most bankable stars. On paper, they made no sense. In public, they looked solid 5 good years for half a decade. The marriage held up under the kind of scrutiny most relationships never face. Bullock stepped into the role of stepmother to James's 3 children. By 2010, the two of them were quietly in the process of adopting a son together, a baby boy named Louis * the Oscar. And the headline that followed * in March 2010, Bullock won her first Academy Award, Best Actress for The Blind Side. James stood beside her on the carpet. Days later, a magazine published an interview with a woman alleging an affair with James while Bullock was in Atlanta filming. More women came forward with similar claims. Bullock pulled out of the London premiere of her own film The Filing by April 2010. Bullock filed for divorce, citing what court papers called a conflict of personalities. The divorce was finalized that June. At the time, Louis, the son they had started adopting together, was still a newborn. Bullock continued the adoption alone. What James said, James didn't go quiet. In a 2011 interview, he told Men's Journal, "I never shied away from anything I did." He later told the Daily Beast he was remorseful that I hurt her so bad and pointed to his own mix of ego, loneliness, distrust. In a separate sit-down, years later with Graham Benson, he was blunter about the cost. He said he lost the relationship with the son he'd helped adopt, calling it the price of Hollywood law. What Bullock said. Bullock has talked about that period far less often, but not never, caring for an infant in the middle of a public divorce. She later told CBS Sunday Morning, "How do you process grief and not hurt your child in the process?" Her answer was to keep her own pain separate from his first year of life. In a 2018 interview with The Independent, she put the marriage's ending more plainly. "My life took a trajectory that wasn't very pleasant. Rebuilding, Bullock raised Louis as a single mother, who then adopted a daughter, Layla, in 2015. She later found a long relationship with photographer Brian Randall, who died in 2023 after a private, years-long battle with ALS in 2022. She told The Hollywood Reporter she planned to step back from acting to focus on her children *. So why could the marriage never survive? Not just the affair itself. By both their accounts, it was something underneath it. James pointed to loneliness and distrust in himself. Factors, he said, were already there before the scandal broke. Bullock, for her part, has framed the ending not as random misfortune, but as something close to necessary. In her words, to The Independent, the hard years weren't a detour from her life. They were supposed to be that way, because they were what taught her. In her phrasing, what family was about, the marriage couldn't survive the gap between two people who, like by their own later admissions, wanted very different things from trust and from each other today. Bullock rates her life a 9.2 out of 10 inches, her own number, given half-jokingly to CBS. Because the other shoe will drop, James, for his part, was remarried and spoken openly about working on himself in the years since. Neither has erased what happened. Both, in their own interviews, have folded it into who they became next. So maybe the real twist isn't that the marriage fell apart. It's that Bullock says she needed it too. If you think a hard ending can still be the right one, say so in the comments. And if you want more real stories told straight from the people who lived them, This is what CelebScope does. Subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Some marriages end in scandal. Some end in something closer to clarity.